On the News Channel 5 Network, this is MorningLine.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Yeah, I'm St. Nick. Thanks for joining us on MorningLine on this Wednesday. It is our last program of, I suppose, the year, right? And we're doing this now live and direct, and we're going to invite you to join in the conversation with us today because we're kind of doing holiday traditions, holiday memories. What do you got going on for Christmas, or whether you celebrate Hanukkah or Kwanzaa, whatever it is, we're going to get into all of that. Not just me, but with our guests who will be joining us, and they'll be kind of coming in as they get wrapped up over on the other set, because I'm going to be joined by Steve Hayslip, of course, Leland, and Dave. And they're all going to be here to kind of talk about and share in the holiday tradition with us. And I want to open up the phone lines. If there's something that you eat, something that you do, something that you observe during the holidays, jump in. This is just kind of, we're going to chit-chat. Steve's here. And look at this. Pull up a seat. We're live. You just sit right there since you're the anchor. Get in the anchor seat. And then we can take a wide shot because Mary Elena Ramos set this. Did she?
Look at this.
This is a surprise. She does something like this every year, but she did she's such, this is really very, very nice. I was thanking her for this, but we've got bagels and apple butter and watermelon, and I was just saying, now, I don't know, you got to put a little of this eggnog in your coffee, Steve.
Okay,
do you like eggnog? We were saying,
I do like eggnog. What's the difference in eggnog and what's the other one?
Custard. Boiled custard?
Yeah, boiled custard. What's the difference?
Rick was just, what is the difference in that? And maybe one of our viewers can call in and tell us, because does it taste similar? I think I've had it.
Yeah, I think they taste very similar. I'm not really sure.
I think the thing about eggnog for some people that they don't like is it's kind of thicker. It's kind of, you know what I mean?
Okay.
Maybe they don't like the idea of drink, because I love the taste of it.
You know what I do sometimes? I will put eggnog in coffee. Mm-hmm. You know, that's kind of good.
Are there eggnog flavors
I
that
feel
come
like a
with
second
coffee?
grader. I'm like really low.
Well, does this bring back memories of the good old days?
This is great. You know what's funny? I was wandering down the hallway and I thought, well, where is the MorningLine studio? Like,
well, this used to be for years. This was your hangout.
This was home.
Since when? It was back. Yeah, since 2006, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm plugged into this little thing, but
Rick,
I can't hear them. But that's
okay. Well,
Rick, so they're talking to me in my earpiece.
He's an IFP if you need it. But Rick, what's the difference between? And one of our viewers may know this: eggnog and custard, boiled custard. Does it taste different?
Oh, yeah. I hear Rick now in my earpiece.
Okay, he's not sure either, but I know that they're both
Rick
sold.
Rick doesn't know this. You know what? Dave's coming in. Oh, now I hear Mary Elena now.
I guarantee you, Dave will know.
I do.
Dave,
now, Dave is a font of useless information.
Well, Dave he's a very, very knowledgeable individual, and he's going to mic himself.
All right, I got to tell you a funny story about Dave.
Shoot,
okay,
go.
I tell this to everybody.
The mic's working.
I know, but you're not supposed to hear this. But anyway, so Dave, I'm talking about Steve Cropper, right? All right, Steve Cropper, legendary rocker, lives in town.
Right.
So Dave knows everything about everybody. Yeah. So he says to me, "Well, you know, Steve Cropper, he lives. You just go down the road, hang right down Franklin Road, hang right on time. Third house on the left has got a boat in the yard." I'm driving home and I'm thinking, because I've driven that way.
It's the second house on the left.
See, here we go again. I'm driving home and I'm thinking, Dave is so full of nonsense. He's full of eggnog in his brain. There's no way he's right. So I drive down Franklin Road, I hang right on time, and sure enough, I get the second house. That's what you told me. There's a white house up there. There's a boat in the driveway. I'm like, do you know the guy's shoe size as well?
Unbelievable.
But Dave is amazing because, I mean, we'll be doing a story about some obscure songwriter that has passed away.
And he knows.
And he'll spin around from the traffic cubby and say, he wrote so-and-so, or he did this. I mean, the guy, you're brilliant. You really are. You're a valuable
There's no market for it, though. That's the problem.
I bet you were
totally
dominant.
Useless.
Did you play Trivial Pursuit?
Yes.
I bet he was awesome.
Okay, now the inside track was Steve's lovely wife used to be a spokesperson and do TV commercials for us when I was the marketing director at Filmhouse.
Oh, really? Okay.
So I had inside information.
I stood next to him. Michael Redd, photojournalist Michael Redd, and I stood next to Steve Cropper during the Super Bowl when the Titans played the Super Bowl. And I mean, the idiot, I had no idea who it was until after the fact.
That was when you had passes but no seats.
Exactly.
And then you, Michael, and Al T. Cobb worked it out, and you ended up, which was great, because you kind of got, shall we say, jilted by some other folks who had tickets and arranged for personal friends to sit with them instead, and those names will be used, but I have no use for those individuals myself. And Al T. said, don't worry, don't say anything, Michael. Let's go. And you guys ended up on the 50-yard line.
And we sat right underneath a spotlight, so there was a space in front of us. We saw the game.
Yeah, you had a great
and an extra Hall of Fame rock and roll star.
Yeah.
I was like, this is
at the
better
Super Bowl. Doesn't get any better than that.
It was fun.
Leland's here.
I am here and having trouble getting this mic on this morning.
That's all right.
Somebody in TV could figure this
These are
thing
the
out.
funny mics.
But
Now, Leland may know, but
there's
now, Dave,
no
you
way
got to know what, and help yourself to anything you'd like. Mary Elena made this wonderful spread. Now,
She
thank you
does
to
this
her.
for you every year.
She does.
She
and
does not get enough credit.
No, well, she should. Anyway, it's very
And
nice
that
of her.
eggnog
And,
from Publix is
what's the difference?
Yes, to be low-fat eggnog from Publix,
It's delicious.
That's good stuff.
So what's the difference between eggnog and custard, boiled custard? Is there a taste difference?
I normally drink more boiled custard because I like it better.
Okay, how would you describe the difference in flavor? Is it radically different or is it similar?
Well, it's like the eggnog tends to have a little more nutmeggy. You put more stuff like that in it. You don't have to do that with boiled custard.
Okay.
Boiled custard is a lot like melted ice cream.
Okay.
You know,
Okay.
it's a smoother, a little sweeter maybe.
Okay, all right. That's what I was wondering. Just because both of them are great. And what typically is great to mix with eggnog?
that I want to be talking about on camera.
All right.
Ask Grandma.
Bailey's. So you're saying this is good stuff.
It is.
Yeah, that is really good.
It's
For
low fat.
store-bought eggnog, that is great.
Yes, that's low-fat as
MorningLine
well.
brought to you by Publix.
Man, that's
Send that
good.
over.
Okay.
Anyway, tasty stuff. Thanks for coming over, you guys.
you're
I
welcome.
appreciate it. So are you guys, all right.
This is our old studio
Yeah, this is
here.
the old.
You're making
my
good use of
goodness.
it, Nick.
What's that?
You're making good use of it.
Yeah, I like what you've done with the place.
Yeah, we usually didn't have
We
this much food.
We take our hand-me-downs over here, and that's okay. The time will come when that studio gets old over there.
I know.
It'll
And
happen.
we'll get over there, and then you guys will come back over here with whatever new fancy thing they come up
I
with.
know.
You know?
Gets old, toss it out.
Toss it.
Out the door. This is great, by the
Isn't it
way.
good?
See, look at you.
It's
You guys
really
are-
good. It's
Everyone's
really
raving
good.
about. So is eggnog one of your traditions? Some people, I heard it's pretty easy to make.
Here
we go.
Make it. It's,
Yeah,
too easy,
okay,
it's
here we
easy
go,
to
yeah.
buy. It's way easier to buy.
Exactly.
All right.
You know.
It's way easier to buy.
But if we had to make it,
Dave, you can do it.
I think it's a quart of nog and a quart of egg, and you mix it together. I don't know.
go away.
All right, calls are coming in,
having
but
a
you know
biscuit.
what? You know what the topic is? Favorite holiday memories.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be memories. It can be tradition. It can be something new that you're doing. Now I know Leland. Every holiday, you guys have a big bowl of tomato aspic.
What?
No. You send it over and we send it back to you. It's like fruitcake for the state of
That is
Maine.
an inside joke.
It is,
That is an
yes.
inside joke going way back with Leland.
Yes.
I don't know. People out there like
candy days here at Morning Line.
Yeah,
Oh, my
candy,
goodness.
tomato aspic, and sow's meat. Remember that?
Yes.
Tandy Rice, rest his soul.
The late,
his soul,
great.
uh-huh.
Okay,
Love
Matt,
that
this
stuff.
is a story about Tandy Rice.
No.
During his visitation, after he passed away, his visitation was in downtown Franklin, and it happened to be on an art crawl night. So all of these people are, going past the church, and so. I'm on the art crawl, and I said, so we went into the visitation as part of the art crawl, and I thought this is so fitting for Tandy, and his family was just so gracious and so wonderful, and I thought, here these people are celebrating and having a great time in Franklin, and what better way to remember him, because since he was a life of the party.
That's a great story, because
it
he
was
was.
really cool.
The guy was
He
just
was.
the ultimate, just life of the party. I didn't know that. He was a showman. And
Did I tell you how I met Tandy?
No.
I met Tandy in 1975. I was working my way through college at WENK Radio in Union City, Tennessee. And they had a setup where when you were talking to the microphone in the control room, the studio next door, you had double glass windows, and you could basically see through double glass windows all the way down the hall to the door that came in from the front lobby. So I'm on the microphone talking, and I see this pink thing out of the corner of my eye coming down the hall. I mean, a big pink thing. It was Jerry Clower
Yes.
in a pink tuxedo,
Yeah.
and his manager, Tandy Rice.
For years,
they were
the
in
two of them.
town
Oh, yeah.
to do a benefit for athletics at Union City High School.
Very cool.
And so they came up, and I almost got the microphone turned off, and the door flew open to the studio, and I heard a "Whoa!"
Oh.
And I could have left. I said, "So how you doing, Jerry?" And I could have taken Tandy to Shoney's for the breakfast bar, and nobody would have missed me for the next hour. Jerry just went.
Yeah.
I mean, just Material.
Oh,
But we went out to dinner after that, and that's how I got to know Tandy. So when I came to Nashville, I called Tandy and said hello, and he suggested a few people I should know, and this, that, and the other. He wound up doing some radio for us when I was the ops manager at WLAC.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But Tandy Rice and Charlie Monk, my good friend who is the mayor of Music Row, knew literally everybody in this town. If one of them didn't know them, the other one did.
And before my time, because he co-hosted with me on this show for a long time, but I mean before that, he was pretty much a player on Music Row, was he not? I mean, besides Jerry Clower, I mean, Goober Lindsay was someone, but he did stuff with Dolly Parton.
Well,
Tandy got started in syndicating. They didn't happen so much in this studio, but on one of the other TV stations here in town, they used to tape a lot of country music television shows. Porter Wagoner, the Wilburn Brothers, a lot of those things. And Tandy, that was Tandy's company, Showbiz. And so he had vast connections across the southeastern United States through TV and radio and other things, because he was involved with all that stuff. And he managed Jerry, of course, the best known, but he managed a number of artists and did quite well.
All right, listen,
quite well.
We need to take a break on that note. As you can tell with us when we sit down, we can end up going anywhere. I don't know. Candy was a great guy, and Larry Britton, another host, a great guy.
You,
we can
Candy,
toast
and Larry.
all of them, but when we come back, we'll toast some of the holiday traditions. We'll see what these guys think. And we got, of course, with you guys here, we're going to hear from Joe, Leanne, Brian. Cindy wants to know if you're married.
Sweet.
And that's good. So,
although, you know, I'm not wearing my ring right now because my finger's too fat.
I'm kidding. Cindy wasn't asking that.
Bigger ring.
I know.
Bigger ring.
I know.
All right, we'll take a break
But
and
you
be
just
back
want to move that.
right after this.